We're in Austin, Texas at Decker Lake with Wade Middleton and Clark Wendlandt. They're taking on the taxing task of fishing on a windy day and showing us their techniques for using the wind to their advantage.
You know, I think when I look back when I first started fishing, I kind of ran from the wind. And by that, I mean, I didn't want to fight the wind. I wanted to get out of the wind all the time. And certainly there are times when getting out of the wind is going to pay off and help you catch fish. But if you're in that situation and you get out of the wind and you're not catching any fish, not getting any bites, go to where the wind's blowing in on some points, blowing in or down some areas, and see if it doesn't help you get a few bites or generate some action for you.
Pretty good one.
Pretty good one there. Get out the way. Chunky! You just feel like on a day like today, you get bit every cast.
You know, you got to figure out what they're doing. And I mean, that guy's not hooked good. There it is. Just almost always catch them. Shallow grass. What our wonder is today, are we going to be moving up into the reeds or are we going to be fishing out in the grass? And the first one, nice fish out in the grass.
Out in the grass. You know they're coming that way.
Not a bad fish.
Not a bad. All of them are good. I took down on it pretty good. About the size of that other one. Gonna try to get him and get you a double out there on the same spot.
I was trying.
I would have too.
Pretty fat one too, isn't it?
Yeah, healthy. I mean, he's right on the edge of that grass. I felt something, and thump. He just crushed
You know,
it.
a lot of times, Wade, a wind, wind, people don't like wind all that much, but it'll sure make fish bite better. We got on a windy shoreline, it may make a difference.
Yeah, I like the wind. I've always been a big fan of using the wind to my advantage, for anything. Fishing a point, fishing a flat, positioning your boat.
What I'm trying to find when I'm running down the lake is a windy shoreline that'll typically let me blow down a bank. If it's coming dead into the bank, it's a lot harder, but if it'll blow down it just a little bit, and the way wind works is wind in most lakes will actually funnel down a creek or down a bank. Rarely will it be going straight into that bank, so a lot of times you can find the perfect bank to be able to blow down. Right here is where we ought to catch one, for sure. Fair?
I think so. Yep. You called that one. You want to grab the trolling motor?
I can.
I think we want to sit there for a second. That's fishing in the wind, though. You look at it, I mean, we're trying to both keep the boat right here where we might be able to catch another one. It's such a funny bite when you're out doing this, though. You're not sometimes not even sure you've got one.
Right.
He just kind of loaded up on it. I mean, I know you love to fish fast and fish aggressive and use the conditions to your advantage all the time. You really have your whole career, Clark.
Well, I've always liked moving, fishing fast, getting to the next fish, fishing more aggressive. And, it's a different style, but a lot of times that's the easiest fish to catch. The one that's the most aggressive is, putting your bait in front of.
It's almost like you're being aggressive and taking the fight to the
fish.
You're
right.
hunting him. It's you going against him.
Yeah, and I think really kind of what you got to look at is what's the best for the situation you have. Well, on a day like today, you got to fish the conditions. I mean,
right.
We can't just sit there right here. It's just too hard.
You can see the white cap.
Yeah, so we're going to use the wind to our advantage, and we're going to get some bites.
Yeah, well, I'll take bites all day long.
To get fish to bite on the lakes that we have today, a lot of times you get more bites when something's erratic. And a lot of times if you'll take a crankbait and reel it into cover, whether it be laydowns, whether it be rocks, whether it be grass, you got to jerk it free from the grass and it's an erratic, it'll just basically turn and flex like this. When it does, that's a reaction bite. And so just reeling a crankbait is not nearly as good as it deflecting off something. You know, what I've gone to when I'm throwing a crankbait is I like fluorocarbon, because the reason is I want the bait to be able to cut through the water as good as it can. I like fluorocarbon and throw Sunline Sniper. A lot of times I'm gonna throw 16. That's probably the test I'd like the most, but sometimes I'll go to 20, because if I get a bite on 20, I'm not losing him. The line size is, when it's fluorocarbon, it's gonna get that bait as deep as I need it to get.
Fish seem so strong when the water temperature's 55, 58.
Oh, they pull.
They just tug this time of the year, don't they? Come here, buddy. That was awesome. Pattern just continues. Run that windy edge and just got a hook there. That's just a good, solid little largemouth bass on an old windy day. Why do you think people are scared of fishing windier spots like this, Clark? Just the boat positioning, the nerves, or?
The key of fishing in the wind, the biggest piece of advice I could give anybody is don't fight it. Go with it. Go with it. You're not going to fish slow on a day like today very easily. So if you just can say, okay, well, there's a big grass bed here, I'm just going to float down it. Then it's easy. You're just floating down it. You can always run back and do it again. So, you know, it's not like you have to sit there and go into the wind. I see people all the time fighting that wind. You know, to me, blow with it.
Yeah, I don't want to fight it. I want it to work with me and not against me.